our team have been asking our customers and partners what they want to know about our business, because we've been in business now for 10 years. I was shocked actually, I didn't realize how long it had been.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
All right, so I'm Richard, I'm the CEO at the Mandatory Training Group, and this is my colleague.
Yeah, I'm Lewis, I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of the business, yeah.
Okay, so people want to know about our backgrounds, how we all started. So perhaps I can start this one, isn't it?
Yep.
So we were in the recruitment industry. We used to run a recruitment agency for healthcare. So a lot of contracts in the Midlands, northwest of England, even in the south as well. NHS trusts, prisons, mental health. We also worked with some private healthcare companies. And it was just at the time, it became a bit of a free-for-all, to try to remain competitive in that area. It became more and more challenging, and we naturally sort of felt that it was time to sort of move on to other things where it wasn't as difficult, really, terrain. So we thought about different things, isn't it? But what stood out the most was compliance, because we were having to hire people. Their training was inconsistent.
Yeah, standards, delivery methods.
Yeah.
So we wanted to sort of put a clear sort of package together to make compliance easier for businesses, not just agencies.
Yeah.
But that's really where the idea originated from. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the funniest things was that the moment we left actually recruitment almost overnight, then we were talking to competitors, people that were just a week before competitors.
Didn't like us, yeah.
They didn't like us at all. Then we said to them, look, we are now doing compliance, we're doing training and the other related things. Then all of a sudden, you're best friends again.
Yeah.
Because they knew actually that we were pretty good at it, because they used to poach our nurses and our healthcare assistants, isn't it?
And all the documents were there, the training was there.
Yeah, exactly.
We sort of sold ourselves in that respect, yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't very difficult actually. What I remember being quite a relief, because we used to pay weekly. We used to pay our agency staff weekly, and I would start on Wednesday talking to the bankers to try to get some money, because our invoices, you're looking at invoices to sort of say which invoices have been paid. Some of them are delayed, but you still need about 20-25 grand to pay people that week. And so I remember the first week that I didn't have to think about payroll, how relieved I was. You kind of miss it in a way, in a sad way, but there's a huge relief as well. So I don't know, do you remember those days?
Yeah, they were challenging from many perspectives: pressure, cash flow, not letting these staff down that have been working for us for so long and have been quite loyal as well, because obviously there's always sharks around trying to steal your best staff or your best performing staff for just a little increment on the hourly rate. So, you felt like you had a duty towards those people as well.
Yeah. I was quite, we talked to all of them in a way, and some of them actually we handed them over to competitors. It was kind of sad actually to see something that we built over many years. It took us about 2 years or so to build that, and with some really good contracts and really good people working on those contracts, but it was sad handing them over. In a way, sort of, are they going to be looked after the way you looked after them? They were very loyal. Some of them were very loyal and they stayed with us throughout the journey. But look, we had to move on and do something different. So, okay, I remember somebody wants to know about our core principles when we started, and also the courses we did. So it was the CSTF, wasn't it? The Core Skills Training Framework that came in 2013.
Yeah, the mandatory and statutory training were the ones that we focused on, because we knew that they were the ones that people needed to do.
Yeah.
So from a business point of view, they made the most sense to focus on, but also we knew that they were the ones that were sometimes the most challenging for people to do, and because they were compulsory. We felt we could do it better than the current people in that market.
There were only, at the time, I think there were 2 or 3 main providers, isn't it, for the face-to-face?
Yeah, it was a
And,
bit of a monopoly with,
yeah.
with a couple of the providers,
Yeah.
particularly the face-to-face centres. But
Yeah.
obviously, with how e-learning's evolved in the UK, and even different delivery methods, learning how people get access their learning now and so on and so forth. There's always going to be space for an online provider or someone offering a digital solution.
Yeah, because we came up with the concept of the blended learning.
Blended learning.
Because many companies, or the big companies in the area, what they were doing was they were doing all in one day mandatory training, the usual suspects. So you come in the morning, you start at 9, you finish at 5. And you're trained for the year. You've basically done about 13, 14 subjects. And we didn't feel that it was the right way to do things. So what we were trying to encourage people to do was to say, look, do the e-learning. I think much of the NHS was moving to e-learning as well. So do the e-learning, then we focus on the practical elements, things like resuscitation, moving and handling, where you really needed to remind people. Because some people, from my experience, clinical experience, is that you can go for years without resuscitating a single person. But obviously, if I come in for training and they just do 2 minutes of chest compressions, that's not enough. I mean, some companies still do it up to now, and they still certify people, but we felt that that was not the right way to do things. And we probably upset quite a few people in this area, but we got things changed. We started doing things differently, and others started to follow as well. So we built on that. And I know, obviously, like you alluded to e-learning there, around 2018, we started to realize actually that the future was e-learning. I don't know whether you want to elaborate on that. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, we started seeing, based on our own research and even speaking more closely to our business clients and also our individual learners that were buying from us, that e-learning was more the way to go. It was more accessible. It was how people wanted to get their access to education and learning. So that's when we as a business started investing more in our own system, in building a content team, getting other experts in the industry that were, say, masters or subject matter experts in their fields, particularly around those mandatory subjects. So it gave us a good base for us to offer that sort of mandatory and statutory training online. And then the idea grew from there, because now we've gone into several other areas, specialties in health and social care and other sectors. But that was the initial idea, and that's what we've been able to build in those last sort of 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So by that time as well, we had grown considerably, because we started a small office in Coventry, 4 people in Coventry.
4 people in just over the road.
Trying to do everything all at once. And I remember driving around the country, getting on the train to London, several times a week and all that. But we felt that, by then we had an office in India, with some guys in Mumbai, with office in Harare in Zimbabwe, office in Mars in the Philippines, and we were looking at South Africa and USA as well. We were looking at California and even Vancouver, British Columbia. But then COVID hit. COVID hit, and at the end of 2019, we finished the year actually, with big ideas on how we were going to expand in these geographical areas. But then as we started 2020, it became very clear that this virus was not going to go anywhere.
No, it was going to cause a lot more disruption than I think anybody ever imagined when we first started hearing the news.
Yeah, and obviously one of the challenges was if you have remote teams scattered around the world, and even here in the UK, not everyone was based in Coventry.
No.
We had people in Northern Ireland, we had people in the north of England, in the south, people in London, different parts of the country. And really trying to coordinate everyone. Because although we'd grown fairly quickly, COVID brought quite a lot of business. Because obviously even some of our clients or prospective clients who would otherwise have not gone for the e-learning route, who don't even consider it. I remember somebody said, well, e-learning is not really training, is it? And they think, it depends,
Yeah, it depends,
But remember that, sort of the different kinds of requests, the different kind of clients.
Yeah, I mean, even as a business, we invested heavily in some of the online webinars. As a business, we invested several £1,000s into that, even from a recruitment drive perspective. Some successful, some not so successful. But it was never changing requirement, wasn't it? There was
Yeah.
always a client who wanted to do something slightly different
Yeah.
and having to map it with government guidelines.
Yeah.
Also, their own staffing numbers, because obviously, if
Mm.
you were trying to run a classroom session and just one person
Mm.
got COVID, for example, it would wipe out everyone
Exactly.
in that session, and all
Exactly.
of a sudden,
Yeah.
the session doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a challenging time, but obviously the immediate growth was because we had all these online courses,
Mm.
particularly in the key areas
Yeah.
that auditors, inspectors are looking for.
Yeah.
We did grow very quickly, but that growth came with a lot of baggage
Yeah.
in a way,
Yeah. So I think one thing that we had not considered by then was just how expensive it was to run a software business, because I don't think we considered ourselves a software business before
not
then.
till, not till really the last couple of years where
Yeah.
you realise that actually you're building a system or software that
Yeah.
you want people to keep accessing,
Yeah.
and every year or every
Yeah.
couple of years they
Yeah.
need to renew these things
Yeah.
or their certificates run out. So
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like any of the common software applications
Yeah.
now that all of us in our day-to-day lives
Yeah.
subscribe to, whether for business purposes or whether for leisure.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
once we understood that, we started to be a bit more streamlined in our focus and
Yeah.
supported the clients with better sort of systems
Yeah.
to manage compliance, not just looking at off-the-shelf products, but actually
Yeah.
looking at solutions and not just training courses to tick boxes.
Yeah. I think because before that, a lot of our clients were face to face. They drive to Manchester, or they come to Coventry, or they come to a training centre in London. They come in the morning, deliver the training, sign the competencies off, and off they go. But obviously, the more we introduce e-learning, you're now thinking of different assessments that people can do online, and we're even dabbling into qualifications as well, because some people are coming to us with their qualifications, but they need a way to assess people online. So I think it was quite exciting to get all those opportunities, because we got a lot of the NHS. I think the NHS Trust, pretty much all the NHS trusts in England, we got a lot of the local authorities, some big companies, private companies. It was very an exciting time, but at the same time, you realize just how much cash you have to burn. Just how much cash. It almost took me back to my recruitment years to sort of say, isn't this what we ran away from?
It was. Some months it was, very tight at times, and obviously with different rules across the world, and when you have remote teams in different parts of the world, you realise actually the magnitude of COVID and the effects it has. It wasn't just running a business in the UK, it was running a global business where the rules were different, there was curfews. We had to provide obviously a lot of support to our staff, and rightly so, and it was very challenging.
Yeah, because it wasn't only, because it's the first time that any of us had experienced almost war-like conditions in a way. So you have to look after the staff from a mental health perspective. People are worried, the numbers of COVID are going up and all that. But also people are working from home, because some of this, like here we're the lockdown, and lockdowns were different in different countries. Like I remember Zimbabwe and the Philippines were quite strict with their lockdowns.
Very strict.
India was terribly hit, and they were quite strict with their lockdowns. So all of a sudden you have to look after people, their welfare, but you have to make sure that they've got the equipment. So where we had computers, desktop computers in the offices, we now need to have laptops. So people can use from home, and you now need to get them data where we would go to one office and with fiber optic data there, and everything is well contained, but you now have people scattered around different cities working from home. So it became quite expensive to run the business.
Not just for general operations.
General operations, but I don't remember ever worrying about it, because we were running a fairly healthy business anyway before that, but because a lot of our customers actually, some of them were affected, some of them disappeared, but the majority of them were consolidating and really appreciating the support that we were giving them. So it felt very much worthwhile. Even
quite rewarding,
Yes, and running those webinars, knowing that you're coming up with solutions. I thought it was probably one of our most innovative times as a business. And then for me, that's suddenly hit to sort of say, God, we are a software business, because we're now providing all these software solutions, unlike just training. And I think even now, when things have gone back to some sort of normal, we've realized actually maybe we need to be a little bit more streamlined. How are we going to help people? Because people want to know what they can expect from us over the next 5 years. How are we going to support them and continue to help them going forward?
Our plan is to empower organisations so that compliance doesn't become like a chore. So even with our technology, the way we even build our content for our training, or even how we build our system, we want to empower organisations. We want the system to automate things. We want real-time reporting. We want easy compliance. We want a good user experience as well, because for us, user experience is the key to all of what we're doing here. We want courses that are accessible. We want to really home in on the things that are important to our clients. So for us, that's where our investment's going to be. We've done enough listening to a lot of our clients now. We feel we know where the gap is in the market. We feel we've got the solutions at hand. And we just want to make compliance a lot easier and empower organisations. We've got some really exciting products coming up from the software, but also our new trainer management system that's coming live in 2023, which will be very exciting, where the idea of blended learning really can become a reality through our platform. Some of the new level reporting systems that we've been working on in the software are really interesting, and they'll be very good for auditors and inspectors and make people's lives a lot easier in compliance departments up and down the country. And even the way we're building our courses now, we're making things more accessible. We know the video course market is growing. We know people are interested in micro sort of learning now, where they're learning it's being drip fed to them. They don't want bulky courses, particularly people doing refreshers, where they just need to know any changes in the last year or the last 2 years or whatever it may be. So yeah, I feel we're going to have some really good solutions for our target audience in a way, our core clients. Primarily in obviously health and social care, but this system is built to comply with any regulations in a way.
We've got Ofsted as well, isn't it?
We've got Ofsted.
LES, foundation stage, primary and secondary schools.
Yeah. And several other sectors with some of the content we have and the way our system's built that we can support in. So that's really where our focus is, empowering our clients and making compliance easy. I think the pathway we're on, we should be able to succeed in that. And some of our clients that we've put on the pilot project for this are already enjoying some of those benefits, and the initial findings have been really good.
So some people would know us as coming to the sales courses, because that's what we did before. You book your face-to-face courses or you buy the online licenses. But actually, we've moved into the proper compliance areas, where we sort of say, look, if you are regulated, the heavily regulated sectors like healthcare, social care, adult social care, children's services, as well as the Ofsted, the education side of things, isn't it? So it's a compliance suite. It's no longer just about courses. Actually, what we're doing is we're mapping our software to the frameworks that are used by the Care Quality Commission, for example, or the care inspectorates in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. But also Ofsted, we've got some experts in LES foundation stage. They've, I think the last one was updated in 2021, so our software is mapped to that. So it means that just by merely using the software and ensuring that we have covered the things that are there, that the prompts that are there, make sure that people are doing the correct training, and you link it with the HR system,
integration.
Yes, integration.
That's going to be another big part of what we're doing, because we realise that a lot of our clients have several suppliers for these services, where really there is a need to have an all-in-one type solution for some of these things, and it's not actually that difficult. So we've really worked on the automations this year, the advancing technologies, the APIs that we have, the integrations we have now with some of the biggest platforms out there, can only help, again, empower organisations and make compliance a lot easier.
Okay, Luis, I think we have covered all the questions that we were sent by our research team. I'm sure people will have more questions based on what we have given them today. So for now, if we give them this, and what we'll do is every week we're going to put out some more information about the business and about ourselves. Maybe some of the different members of staff as well will get involved. But today we thought it would be good if Luis and I have a chat with you and give you that background. We started business together 10 years ago, and we've gone through the different ups and downs And we have not only survived, because many businesses we know that they struggle and fail in the first 5 years and disappear. We've reinvented ourselves over and over again, and we hope that we can continue to grow and support our clients meaningfully. So hope to see you soon. Thank you.
I think so.
Yeah.